Hello, welcome to another PreKey tutorial. So, once you've added your properties and you've most likely had viewings taking place, you're hopefully going to have some of those viewings wanting to apply for the property. So, there's a couple of ways you can do this. You need to invite them to apply. So, the tenant will then get an email notification saying that they've been invited to apply. It will ask them to log into their PreKey account. They'll need to make sure that they've completed their full profile. And then under applications, they'll have a button where they can click apply or they can click decline. So if they've chosen that they don't want to go ahead with the property anymore, then hopefully they will just click decline and then you'll be notified and you can then rule them out as a potential tenant for that property. So how do you invite them to apply? The process that we're expecting that you'll have gone through is that when they've got in touch with you through PreKey, on that first message that they send to you, there'll be a link that says book viewing. So you'll have booked a viewing for them. They'll have then had the viewing. You'll then have gone on here and marked the viewing as done, which then means it will appear in here and the main button is highlighted for inviting an application. So when you click that, the tenant receives the email and that email tells them to log in and they have the application invite there in their dashboard. We have set a time limit on that link for the tenant to use it, and that time limit is 3 days because we think that is a sufficient amount of time for that tenant to make a decision on the property as to whether they're going to move forward or not. And it just gives them that bit of an incentive to get a decision made so you're not hanging around for days on end. So you send them the invite to apply, and that then places that tenant's information here in the new section under applications. So when it is waiting for them to make a decision, in the status section here, it will actually say that it's waiting for that tenant to make a decision. When they do finally click apply, that's the point at which you'll be notified here under status. You do get an email notifying you that they've applied as well, but you'll also then be able to click view application. Okay, so you can see the property that they've applied for, the rent amount and the deposit amount, and you can see the date and time that they've applied as well. So we can give the tenant's name, and we also run an affordability calculation as well. So it tells you actually how much rent we believe they can afford, and that calculation is done based on the majority of referencing company calculations. So you know that once you move ahead with it, it's unlikely that it's going to fail based on the affordability. Okay, so it gives all the information that you need, including their income status, their employment status, their contract type as well, whether they're a current tenant or a homeowner, and any referees are put in there as well. So you've got everything you need at first hand to make a decision before committing any money to referencing. So once you've viewed that, you can either choose to decline them, in which case you can put a reason in there as to why you've not moved forward with them, or you can shortlist them. And if there's any other information you're not sure on or you want some clarification, you can send a message to them directly as well. So once you click shortlist, it then places them into the shortlist on here. So you might want to hold off for a few days if you have a particular popular property, and just build up a list of people so that you can then review all the applications in one go and just refresh your memory. So once you've done that, you can then choose to either accept them outright, you can choose to accept them with a guarantor, or you can decline them. And once you've made that decision, just to come back on here, if you do accept them with a guarantor, they are notified that they need to find a new guarantor, and on their side they'll then have a button under their applications section where once they've added a guarantor they can reapply, and you'll be notified that they've reapplied. So once all that's done, you've accepted them one way or the other, they'll appear under the accepted section on here. You've then got two choices. You can either create a tenancy record straight away, in which case you fill out all the relevant information about them and the tenancy, and then once you save that tenancy record it will appear under My Tenancies. Or your second option is to choose to conduct tenant referencing for them and any co-tenants. So if you were to click reference check, it then places it here. So it calls all the information in, and you would then submit them for a reference check, and you're able to track the progress in here. I'll go into that on another video, but that is pretty much an overview of how the application process works. So in summary, just as a quick recap, so they've done a viewing, you go into the done viewing section, or alternatively you can invite an application from here. So you can invite them just with an email address by clicking on here, selecting the relevant property and just putting in their tenant's email address, or you can do it from the viewing section where it just takes you to here and you click invite application. And then once you've clicked invite application, it appears in the new section where you then shortlist them, and then from shortlisting you can either accept with guarantor, or decline, and you can view the application in here as well. And then once it's accepted, you can then either create the tenancy record or submit them for referencing. If you do decline someone, by the way, I've actually not got a record in here at the minute, but you can choose to reactivate them. So if you do decline someone based on a piece of information that actually they've confirmed wasn't the case, you can reactivate that application and re-shortlist them. So I hope that helps anyway. It's actually a really simple system to use once you get your head around it. If there is anything you're not quite sure on, do just drop me an email to support@prekey.co.uk and we can go into things in a little bit more detail and just help you out. Anyway, I hope that helps. Many thanks.